Hello and welcome to Pokemon for everyone who loves Pokemon. I am the Squirtle Master. I am trying something new, and by that I mean, for those who cannot see like myself, I am trying. I ask people download PNGs based on the topic I'm talking about. For instance, I had a Poliwag PNG in the previous video because I was talking mainly about mainly about Poliwag. And because I'm talking about Sun and Moon this episode, spoilers, I have a Pokemon Sun and Moon Ash Ketchum PNG, so I hope you enjoy, and let's get into the video. I'm going to come out and say it, I love Pokemon Sun and Moon. It's an incredible series despite what people say. I understand that people were upset that they changed the art style, but it didn't affect me. Well, 'cause I can't see. Um, I love the overall music and the tone and the slice of life atmosphere that the vibes the anime gave off was a nice change to the intense training whatever that had been going through for the past 20 years. So I really look forward to that series. You best believe I was psyched when I heard this particular trailer on the official Pokemon YouTube channel Japan. I had no idea what they were saying, but I was, as Ash Ketchum says, super psyched and I went crazy and I was just really excited. I remember actually it was my birthday when I listened to the Fluffy Pancakes episode, the whole Ash Ketchum, no, not Ash Ketchum, of course, Pikachu, but Ash Ketchum's Pikachu versus the Alolan Raichu episode. I remember just hearing all the noises, and I just generally loved the series soundtrack. Um, and I'm basically making this video to say that I love Sun and Moon, and I'm the Sun and Moon anime, and I'm not ashamed of it, and I'm going to explain why it's incredible. I generally have no complaints about this anime, except Sophocles, and that may be a separate video on its own. He was the weakest character in my opinion, and often quite annoying in my he annoyed me for certain. But other than that, I just loved the cast. Everyone I was skeptical at first when I realized how many cast members there were this time around, how many companions Ash had. I didn't think they'd be able to give them all and or give them justice and actually develop their stories in a controlled and actually paced way. Um and the writers and everything did a tremendous job handling all those different storylines. Better than they did with Journeys. Chloe Cerise. Either way, I generally love the series. I loved the we had Mallow and her past with her mum. We had Lytton and Stoutland. That episode made me cry, and I'm surely not the only person, just because of the sad music and the atmosphere. And when I realised that something had happened that was making everyone sad, I literally just bawled my eyes out. And then there's of course Lily's story and Mallow's story. I believe I just mentioned that. And then of course there's one of my favorite parts of the entire anime, Professor Kukui and his relationship with Professor Burnett. That was wonderful. I really loved the episode where they got engaged and got married in the same episode actually. I just feel sorry for them because of the English censors. Their wedding drinks were downgraded from alcohol to orange juice. So yeah, and then like I say, Lytton. That is one of the biggest reasons why I love Sun and Moon. So let's jump into that. I'm going to just get it out here now. I said that phrase already today actually. That I love cats. I have many cats of my own. Either way, when I discovered there was a fire type cat, I was ecstatic. I love all cat Pokemon except Purloin. I'm sorry, their voice in um in the Pokemon Black and White anime, in the English dub and Japanese, really just did not seem appealing to me, and I didn't think it was a nice sounding Pokemon. Lipode, on the other hand, is a different story. I dislike its name. And then there came Litten, and I'm like, oh, it's a lit kitten, because it took me a while somehow to figure that out. Either way, I was so excited when I discovered that they were going to be in the anime. We heard their voice in the first episode when Ash went diving with the Sharpedo and all that stuff, or whatever he was doing when he was talking to his mum. And, well, I was just so excited. And then we had, well, actually, I gotta have to say, spoiler warning if you haven't watched the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime. And if you haven't watched the Sun and Moon anime, please do ignore the animation or art style. It was a big turn off for many fans of the series, and many people can compared it to Yokai Watch, but other people have also agreed that it gave them more expression. Either way, I'm just saying, please, if you haven't watched the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime, please give it a try. Or if you did and then stopped because you found them annoying, again, please try again because the story is just amazing. What I'm trying to say here is spoiler warning, because I'm gonna get into some heavy story plots with Litanies. So Litten was raised by a Stoutland, and the Stoutland tried to teach him Fire Fang, I believe, and then the Stoutland passed away of old age, and my God, did I cry to the soundtrack and everything, like I mentioned earlier. And after a while, Litten eventually agrees to travel with Ash, and in the hopes they basically like I really hopefully Ash, of all trainers that we know of in the anime, with his caring nature for all Pokemon, we knew that we'd help Litten move on from his loss. Litten was a huge fan of The Masked Royal and his Incineroar specifically, and really wanted to challenge him. And in the episode, when they finally go in the episode, they go and watch them live, and apparently Litten jumps on the stage and challenges them to a battle. Long story short, there's a lot of back and forth, and then Litten wants another battle with Incineroar later on. They do have a battle, and I think it's called pushing the fiery envelope, I believe. I did not understand that metaphor. I don't know if it was just sitting wrong with me, but fair enough. And Litten evolved into Torracat, and I was ecstatic. I was thinking, that's incredible. Maybe in next series they'll evolve into Incineroar. Well, it took longer than I expected, and I believe most people expected. And I was devastated, along with some other people, because a Torracat went on and finally beat their rival, Masked Royals Incineroar, by evolving it to turn into Incineroar itself, only to faint the next match, faint after they fainted, I believe. But we never got to hear, no one ever got to watch Incineroar battle again, after he evolved. So that made me sad. It made me sad because I would have loved to hear Incineroar and Ash cheering because they won a battle, and well, I love Incineroar. Mainly because of the anime and just because I love cats. When my friend got Super Smash Bros. And asked me to just, play with them, by that I mean I just randomly mash buttons and hope that I win. When they told me there was Incineroar, I specifically asked the very first battle for them to help me choose Incineroar, and they did. And by me manically mashing buttons like I usually do with any game, I miraculously won, so I have a great fondness for Litten and its entire evolution line. So, there's a bit of info for you. Now it's time to talk about another part of the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime, which I really loved, and that was the relationship between Professor Kukui and Ash Ketchum. In many ways, Kukui was the father figure that Ash never had, and it was wonderful to hear Ash have all the advice and comfort of a male role model that isn't, Brock, a 15-year-old. Well, at least in the Indigo League anime, he was a 15-year-old. We'll cover that in a future theory video. Either way, it was just wonderful, and it was a very heartfelt goodbye when they said goodbye, in the very last episode of Sun and Moon. That I did cry a little bit, not gonna lie. And when they finally reunited in Pokemon Journeys, the Ash Ketchum from Journeys reunited with Kukui because they would have had a close relationship. If you watch the multiverse episodes about how many Ash Ketchums there are, you'd understand why I'm saying it so specifically. It was very heartfelt, and Lay just made adorable noises, and Kukui said welcome home, and it was all just so heartwarming. Either way, I love Pokemon Sun and Moon, and I'm not afraid of it. It's an incredible story it's an incredible anime with an incredible story, and I hope I've encouraged some of you to actually watch the anime if you haven't already, because it's amazing. But until then, Alola! Sorry for the random pause in the middle of the video. I originally had footage to show you, but out of pure fear, I have not used it, so forgive me.